Hey folks, welcome back. My name is Krishna, and this time around we're going to take a look at how we can use this letter E to help us when we're drawing items in perspective. So I want to show you the basic technique first. Make sure that we understand that, and then we can move on to something more complicated. So let's start off by just making this letter E, and we're going to hit Command T. If I hit Command T, I can transform and choose perspective. I can pull the lower right hand handle, pull it out, hit return. Already we're implying something that has a sense of perspective. If I hit Command J to make a copy of it, and hit Command T, and then flip horizontal, I can move this out to where I can get something that looks like a cube. It's almost like we're looking at this cube from eye level. Let me just put this line in so you can see that that is in fact looking like a cube. So we're going to take this information and we're going to apply it to seeing a top-down view and a bottom-up view. So we'll draw that letter E. We'll once again use our transform tool, right-click, choose perspective. This time we're going to also right-click and choose skew. And what we're going to do is we're going to move our cursor to the right edge of that transform and pull it down. We'll hit return. We'll make a copy. Command J makes a copy in Photoshop. Command T. And once again, I'll right click and I'll just choose flip horizontal. Hit return. Move it over and line things up. We can see the two faces of something that looks like a cube. And the question is, how do I fill in the top part? Well, all of these items, these lines that are on the right-hand side that are diagonal, are all converging to the same vanishing point on the right. This angle won't be as steep because it will also eventually intersect that same vanishing point. The angle is not as steep, and the same thing on this opposite side. And then we can always come back in and clean up our edges. So we've basically got a top-down view. We're looking over the top of this cube. It's a little bit distorted in the sense that it looks almost like a fisheye lens, but I'm just trying to exaggerate it so you can definitely see the difference. Let's move these off to the side. We'll do the same thing here. Make the letter E, Command T, perspective, pull it out, right click, choose skew. Only this time what we're going to do is we're going to just move the skew up. We can automatically see that we're inferring the bottom side of this object. So I'll make a copy, Command J, Command T, right click, flip horizontal, and move this into position. Draw our edge, and again, this line won't be as steep. And essentially, we have the bottom face of something that looks like a cube. So this is the technique. This is a great thing to practice to help you be able to draw perspective from different angles. And it takes a little bit of the pressure from having to actually draw those vanishing points. This is just enough to make it believable. You know, you could do the whole technical angle where you have the vanishing point and draw a bunch of lines, but sometimes you don't need that when you're just trying to get your work done. So let's see how we can actually apply this concept. Well, we can make the E's as long as we want. We're not limited to the length of the E. So in this case, I've made the E very, very long. I'll make another letter E. And notice that this E is a little bit offset. And I'll make a third set of E's. And I've got something that looks like this. So using the transform tool, I can choose perspective, And then I can choose skew. Get something that looks like that. Command J. And then I can flip it horizontally. I'm going to use my keyboard shortcut that I've customized in Photoshop. If I hit Command F, it flips it over. And you don't have to make it to where they're exactly touching. You could bring this in. You could add a slight skew to this to kind of make it even more exaggerated. You can even play with scale. You can bring it in like this. I know it's kind of like a little bit difficult to see because I've got red lines, but if I drop the opacity a bit, you can see how I'm able to create different dimensions here, right? So I can make it wide, I can make it more narrow, I can have a little bit of overlap. I kind of like the way this is going. And so what I'll do is I'll just group these two layers, drop the opacity, and then from here, I can create some kind of structure. Maybe these are some steps. And I will use my handy dandy ruler because I've heard that old adage, I can't draw a straight line without a ruler. Well, that's why they invented rulers. Right, so you can see how I'm able to just make those lines. These are little plastic rulers. I've talked about them in previous videos. But if you're new to the channel, you can pick one of these rulers up for very, very cheap at any art supply store. It will not scratch the surface of your Cintiq or your drawing tablet. And let's just go ahead and make this metal box here so you can come up with some really cool structures. Got a little bit of parallax going because I'm not looking directly over my screen since I'm recording this video. But I'll just give you enough just to where you can see how it's going to shake out. And now we've got something that we can work with, right? I forgot to draw some stairs. Let's just go ahead and complete that effect. And I love to let my imagination run wild. I don't know if some of you have ever watched that show, Secret City. It used to come on a long time ago in the 80s. Maybe I'm dating myself, but Commander Mark was the host of that show, and he would show you how to do all these really cool drawing techniques to make your own little secret cities. That's what this kind of reminds me of. So I've got this structure here, and where it gets really fun is I can put a small doorway. All of a sudden, the structure looks massive. It looks really, really big, right? If I add some black fills, in fact, what I'll do is just to make this make more sense, I'll actually have another little inset area here. There we go. And now we've got this really spiraling structure. Granted, it's not all cleaned up, but then I can add some foliage, maybe some vegetation. I mean, your imagination is the limit. You can have a lot of fun with this. Then I can think about texture. Maybe I want to have some hint of stone. I don't have to draw every single stone. Just enough to where I can infer that. And I'm going to have some more vegetation on the opposite side. So right away we're creating something that just looks intimidating, massive. I can add some hatching. Talked about different hatching techniques before. So I can make, for example, one line like this, hit Command J, Command T, move it out. Instead of doing that ad nauseum, in one of my previous videos I talked about the idea of using a library. So I've already pre-built a lot of these assets. I can hit Command T. I can rotate it. I can scoot it in. So if you're doing something, the same thing over and over again, you may want to work smarter, not harder. So now I've got these hatch marks here. And the way that I can isolate the hatch marks is simply select those two sides, go back to the hatch lines layer, Command J, and there you go. You've got those hatch marks in place. So I've just made a very simple structure using the letter E. And you can apply this for all sorts of things. And I've also got something that has believable perspective as well. So that's the video. Hopefully you found some value in that. If you did, consider giving a thumbs up. More tips and techniques like this are kind of the mainstay of this channel, just like helping digital artists get better and improve their craft. I'm also learning. We're all lifelong learners in this whole thing. So there's a lot that I don't know, but I like to share what I know with all of you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.